And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Friday, September 4th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. It's a Friday morning, and we're glad to have you with us and glad to be on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust. We've got Kurt Baker here this morning. Kurt, good morning to you. It is nice to have you. It's always nice to have somebody to talk to, of course, and you've been around for a while. You're Vice President of Lending, and you've had really quite a career at Wilson Bank,
Yes,
right?
sir. A little bit over 15 years now, going on 16, and it's been a good run, good partnership between myself and the bank, and it's just a great place to work, Coleman.
Well, you've won some awards in that direction. The bank has in the past as one of the great places to work, and your testimony to that, I guess.
Absolutely. I just think our culture is above and beyond kind of what you find out there, and at the end of the day, you spend more time with these folks at work every day than you do your own families at home. So it's got to be a good culture, a good fit.
What do you want to talk about in particular this morning?
Loans. Low interest rates. Don't try to get me to quote anything, but, just rates in general. Right now, rates are still at an all-time low. Whether you're looking to buy a car, build a house, buy a house, maybe buy a boat. Most people are probably looking at selling boats right now. But just it's a great time to do any type of financing if you have those needs on your list.
Do you, as Vice President of Lending, make all kinds of those loans? Even yourself, you
I do. I'm more of a commercial lender. I do a lot of commercial and small business lending. But, of course, as a community banker, everybody's roots is in consumer lending. So it's always good to get back in there and do a few car loans and stuff and help some folks out.
Well, the interest rates are really so attractive. The thing about it is what I'm reading all the time. There are some people who complain about that, especially those who might want to have a savings account or this sort of thing, or CD or whatever. But if you're borrowing money, there's probably never been a better time to borrow than right now.
There really isn't. Again, if you're listening right now and you haven't looked at refinancing your home over the last couple of years, now is the time to call Wilson Bank and see about doing so. Some rates are being locked as low as in the low twos. On FHA and USDA rural development mortgages. So those are your long-term 30-year fixed rates.
Can you actually get something locked in at that particular low rate and know that that's the highest rate you're going to have to pay for the entire
for the duration of the loan?
Yeah,
correct. Yeah, it's almost unprecedented, really. I mean, back out of the last recession, when we're coming out in 13 and 14, and rates were in the low fours, everybody thought they were getting a steal of a deal. And Coleman, yourself, you've probably seen rates, in double digits on home loans back in the day, sometimes 15 to 18%. So. Our mind has kind of been retrained to think anything below 4.5 is a steal of a deal. But yes, sir, when you start hearing rates in 2s and 3s, you need to jump on it.
Well, let me tell you, back in the 70s when I got one for 7%, I thought I had a bargain.
Yep, absolutely. But of course, like you said, at that time, maybe your mom or your dad or older folks that that had quite a savings saved up, they were also getting 10 to 15% on their deposit accounts in the bank too. So it's a double-edged balance in that.
Certainly is. But if you're wanting to borrow money, now's the time.
It is absolutely the time.
And you've got the money to lend, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. We got plenty of it. We're running a one-time close campaign right now on construction loans to where you touch it on the front end, you close your construction loan, and at the end of the 12 months, it rolls to a 15 or a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. You don't have to touch it at all on the back end. So it kind of eliminates that second set of closing costs there.
Well, you've got it all figured out. Now, what about everybody doesn't have the best credit rating, and there's sometimes I'm sure you have to say no, although your billboard says you say yes more often.
Yep, absolutely. Well, that's our philosophy. The whole theme behind that, we say yes more often is we look for creative ways to get your deal done for you. If it's you're battling credit or you're battling you don't have as much cash to put down, we look for unique ways to try to make that fit. So when you meet with the lender at the bank, you're not just going to get a yes or a no. You're either, sometimes it may be no, but we're going to lay out the ground rules. Hey, here's where we need to get you credit worthy to where you can go out there and get that home or car or whatever financing that you need.
Most people listen when you say that. I mean, people pretty much know how credit worthy they are. They know where they stand for the most part, don't they?
They do. They do. But I mean, folks are always looking at guidance, and that's where community banking is a little bit, different than a lot of your larger banks. is that we can sit down and kind of coach you through those processes. And it might be a 6 to 12 to 18-month plan to get you where you want to go. But again, we try to say yes more often without just saying no.
And you a lot of times know the people, know a little bit about them here, and even if you don't, if it's their first time to make your acquaintance or you to them, you still make the decision here. And it's not somebody in New York or Timbuktu that's never heard of Joe Blow and don't care really.
Correct. We don't have a system that we just input your stuff and it spits out a yes or a no. And I'm sorry, Mr. and Miss Smith, the computer said no, I can't help you. It's not that type of deal. We try to sit down with you and look at the picture. If it's a little bit off, we try to tighten it up and make it work for you.
And it creates a good relationship between you and the customer that way. Even if you have to say no, you can say it gracefully and, well, if you can improve here in a year, we'll look at it again maybe?
It really does. Yes, absolutely. And, you mentioned relationships. That's construction lending, residential construction lending is probably one of my favorite types of loans to do just because you're helping those folks build their dream home or their forever home. And that's where relationships are really created. And that's a 12-month process. That's not just doing the loan, then you don't speak to them again for a few months. I mean, you're ingrained in the process from start to finish, and you build that trust there.
Yeah. Well, Kurt Baker is available, Vice President of Lending, Wilson Bank and Trust. By the way, you're at the main office?
I'm at the main office, so if you walk in on the east side of the building and hang a sharp right, my office is over there in the corner.
Thanks for being with us today. Good to have you. And, of course, Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. Thank you.
Coleman, I do have to say one more thing. I got to say hi to my two kids, Colt and Aniston. Always got to do that. They love to hear their name on the radio.
So great.
Thank you for always letting me do that.
All right. Thanks for being with us.
Absolutely.
10.5 minutes after the hour. Well, I want to welcome Rick Bell, who is here, and he is my guest this morning. I'm going to be doing an interview with each of the mayoral candidates. There are 4 of them here during the month of September. And Rick, you are first this morning, and let me say welcome again.
Well, thank you, Coleman. It's good to be here.
How's your family doing?
They're good. My mom and dad, Charles and Elaine, they're doing well. You've told me several times that you and my mom were in homeroom together in high school. You were a Walker and she was a Van Hook, so those letters are always in the same homeroom.
Yeah.
But they're doing well, and they're really excited about the campaign. My mom is calling people every day, people she knows and friends, so she's helping campaign. And my dad, every day he wants a report of what I'm doing, and he asked that because he knows that campaigning requires hard work, and I want to say this, that's something that my parents instilled in me a long time ago, was the importance of hard work. A lot of people, but not everybody, knows that my dad used to own a business here in town called Lee Alco, and when I was in junior high, he put me to work on the loading dock, and from the loading dock, as I got older, I went and worked in logistics and customer service and sales, and I really learned that business from the ground up, and he taught me how to run a business and how to work hard, and there's really 3 qualities that he instilled in me as far as running a successful business, and the city is a business. It's a big one. And those qualities are, 1 is pay attention to details. The second one is to care. And the third one is to work hard. And that's what we're doing. We're working hard in this campaign because I believe that you should earn the mayor's office and work hard at it. So, we're out there walking the neighborhoods every week. My wife, Nicole, and I, and we have a lot of volunteers that we're thankful for who go out there and help us, and we're having a lot of great events. So everything's going well. My parents are doing well. They're excited, and we're excited too.
Well, again, let me ask, why do you want to be mayor?
I want to be mayor because this is my hometown, and I want to do well. I love this town and the people in it, and I believe that I bring qualities to the office that can help put us in a positive direction. And some of those things I just mentioned, attention to detail, that's very important, especially when you're looking at budgetary matters, caring for the employees and for the citizens, and working hard every day. And as mayor, I'll do that. And I've been on here several times. I've talked about other qualities. I believe a good leader listens to people, to the council, to the department heads, to citizens, to other leaders around the region. A leader communicates with the citizens, let them know what's going on, and a good leader works hard.
Well, in your communication, in the feedback that you're getting from the community, the people that you talk to, and so on, do you feel very positive about your campaign at this point?
I do. I feel positive. And I've met a lot of people out there, people I didn't know before, and everywhere we go, we get a very positive reaction. People thank us for coming to their neighborhoods and talking to them, and we've held a lot of events. We've had events where we go and sit in a cul-de-sac outside and people social distance and we talk, and we've done that a couple of times. And just a few weeks ago, we had a great event at Hobbs Field. A lot of people came by. We had a tent set up. We had an ice cream social, and we had root beer floats and things to pass out, and a lot of stuff for kids to do. And a lot of people came and talked about the issues, and I'm listening. I am listening to the issues.
All right, time for us to take a break. Rick Bell, candidate for mayor of Lebanon. And by the way, the election is, August the 3rd?
November 3rd.
No.
August 3rd has already been.
August the 6th. What's the other?
It's about 2 months away.
It coincides with the presidential election,
It's
right?
about 2
Right here
months
in
away.
Lebanon, we'll be electing a mayor that day. And Rick is one of the 4 candidates. We've got to take a break, and more coming up on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:15. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic increase out here coming down past the airport here through Hermitage Donaldson on I-40 westbound. Conference Drive at Windsor Green Boulevard. That's in Goodlettsville. That's a crash involving some injuries tying up that intersection. Glen Rose at Sandra Drive. The wreck is in its clearing stages. It's building out here on the interstate where you pretty much would expect. We've seen tons of radar. Slow it down. Hey, Ripley's Aquarium. Family edition Sleep with the Sharks. It's back September 19th. Check it out. Ripley Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Don't put off the things you should do today. Start a financial plan with Waypoint Financial Partners. Waypoint, your future, your way. For more information, call the Lebanon office of Waypoint Financial Partners at 615-444-6548. Securities and investment advisory services offered through AXA Advisors, LLC, 212-314-4600. Member FINRA, SIPC, Waypoint. Your future, your way.
WANT is proud to announce the return of the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show. Every Friday night, we will bring you local scores and interviews with Wilson County coaches directly after the LHS football game. The 2020 Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Burdine Supply, Designers Carpet, Kitty Salas and the hometown team of Keller Williams, Lebanon Appliance, Minchie's Landscape, Palometto's Insurance, and Sammy B's Restaurant. That's every Friday night after the LHS football broadcast, right here on WANT 98.9, Wilson County's own radio.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Friday morning. Rick Bell is my guest candidate for mayor of the city of Lebanon. And back to our discussion here. Rick, Mayor Bernie Ash has been running some ads regarding certain positions that you've taken in the past. How do you respond to those ads?
He has, and I believe that ad's going to run the second half of your program today. And he talks about his so-called conflict of interest. And I really believe what Mayor Ash is doing is trying to distract from his 41% property tax increase that he placed on the citizens of Lebanon, and also the $1 million+ house that he bought to put his new office in, that the renovations even went over budget. And those are things he simply cannot defend. So, I really believe he's trying to muddy the water, but since it's out there, I want to address it.
All right.
And one of the points that he makes in that ad is that I was appointed to the city council by the mayor, and that's simply not true. And Bernie should know that. He was there that night. When the counselor for Ward 6 resigned, I was interested in that spot. So I found out that the city council appoints a replacement. And I called every city councilor to tell them I was interested and try to get their support. And thankfully, the city council appointed me to that position. And so I was honored to serve the citizens of Ward 6 for the rest of that term. And when I took that office, one of the things I learned pretty quickly is that, the city of Lebanon through the years has spent millions of dollars on quality of life. The city built Don Fox Park, the Jimmy Floyd Center, greenways, sidewalks throughout the city. But they had never spent any money in Ward 6 on quality of life. That part of town had been left out. Goals, as representative for Ward 6, was to change that. In fact, they had never built a sidewalk in Ward 6. And so my family, to help the city and assist the city in making that happen, decided to donate 15 acres of land for a city park. That land was accepted unanimously by the city council, and the council set a budget to build that park. And Bernie likes to call it a super park. Well, it had a playground, trails, picnic pavilions, things that, the citizens of Lebanon would enjoy, and families and everyone could go there and have recreational activities. And if that's a super park, yeah, I think that would be super for the people of Lebanon, no doubt about that. But one of the things I said from day one was that if the bids came in over budget, I would not be in favor of building a park, because I do not believe the city should do anything over budget. We put together a citizens committee to plan the park and design it. That process took about a year. The bids came in, and they came in over budget. And the night the city council met to discuss those bids, I made an announcement to the rest of the city council that I was going to vote against those bids. I didn't think we should do it, and that I would like for the rest of the council to join me in that. And they did. So I'm the one who stopped the park from being built, because I do not believe the city should do anything over budget. Now, Ward 6, though, since then, is getting a park. Goodall Homes, which is a regional builder, they do developments all over the southeast. They donate about 15 acres of land to the city, and Mayor Ash has agreed to build a park there. One of the things that's interesting about that, many people may not know, is that Goodall Homes is actually owned by Warren Buffett, the seventh wealthiest man in the world. He's worth about $49 billion. So he donated some land to the city, and Mayor Ash is going to build a park on that land. So Ward 6 is getting a park. And I think that was in the paper this week, where the deed was handed over for that. So that's another issue that Mayor Ash brings up in his ad.
Well, what about the conflict of interest that is suggested there with you and your family?
Well, he talks about conflict of interest because we donate 15 acres of land. I know he's told people too that it was in the floodplain. None of that land's in the floodplain. It's all land that was there for playgrounds and pavilions and things like that. And the land is still there. People ask, is the land still available? Yes. If the city in the future ever wanted to do something with it, they could. The donation is still viable. Now, as mayor, I would not do it, but a future mayor might do it somewhere down the road, because I do not want there to be any semblance of conflict of interest. And I believe donating land is not a conflict of interest. That's us giving something to the city, and that's us, giving back to the community that we all love. And then there's a third issue that Mayor Ash has brought up in his ad, and this happened a couple years ago, and a lot of people remember this. One of the other counselors wanted to give Coleman University $850,000. That action required 2 readings. On the first reading, that counselor talked to the city councilors in a work session and during the meeting and asked us to vote for that, with the understanding that over the next 2 weeks, we could study it more and then make a final decision on the second reading. So we as a council agreed to do that with that understanding that over the next 2 weeks, we would learn more. Well, over those next 2 weeks, we did. One, we learned from the state comptroller that it really wasn't a good idea for the city to be doing this. And the second thing we learned was that a lot of Lebanon citizens did not want this to take place. And we got calls and emails from a lot of people. We all did. So 2 weeks later, on the official reading, the second reading, I abstained from the vote. I work at Cumberland. I've worked there for 20 years as a history professor. I've never hidden that. I didn't hide it that night. And since I abstained from the vote, that made that vote a 2-2 tie, and my abstain killed it. In this ad, Mayor Ash makes it sound bad that I listen to the people. And I just said earlier, in the first segment, that listening to the people, that's what a good leader does. And the only thing that I can think of that would make him say that's a bad thing is the fact that when he raised property taxes 41%, he did not listen to the people. I will, and I'll continue to do that as mayor. I will listen. And so, I just want to address those topics because I know that ad's been running. I know it's out there. People are going to hear it in a few minutes, and people need to know the full story of what happened on those three issues.
Okay, so it is correct that you did vote for that on first reading, but really to continue the discussion.
Yes.
And when it came crunch time, you abstained, which actually killed it.
That's right.
Okay.
First reading, continued the discussion. That's what the counselor asked us to do. The council, the majority of the council said, yes, we understood that. Continued discussion over the next 2 weeks. And then after those 2 weeks, we made our decision. 2 voted against it, 2 voted for it. I abstained, and it died.
Okay, early voting is be here before you know it. Today is September the 4th, but we're talking about October the 14th, which is a little over a month.
October 14th, it's not long, and we have a lot of hard work ahead of us. We have a lot of neighborhoods to walk through. We have a lot of events, a lot of people to talk with, and a lot of people to listen to, and a lot of people to get the word out to. I'm going to stay focused, and my focus is really 4 areas. One is financial responsibility. I don't think that's been happening the past 4 years. When you have a 41% property tax increase, something has gone wrong. And financial responsibility, I believe, is the mayor's most important job, taking care of the people's money. And I will work on that every day. When I said earlier that you have to pay attention to details, that budget is details. Every day you have to watch spending. And I promise to do that as mayor. The second thing I'm focused on is smart growth, protecting our established neighborhoods. That's very important as we move forward to make sure that everyone in Lebanon continues to have a quality of life, a good quality of life. And that's my third area of importance is quality of life for the citizens. That covers a lot of things for a lot of people. But one of those is to make sure everybody in this city is safe in their homes, their neighborhoods, and that we have things out there for our citizens, restaurants, shopping, entertainment, recreational activities. And the fourth thing that's important is protecting Lebanon's identity. We're going to grow, but we have to make sure that we protect who we are and who we've always been. And part of doing that is protecting our core, our square, our historic areas, because that's where this city began, and we have to protect what we had, and we have to protect what we're going to have in the future as well.
You have a website. I think that's pretty much standard anymore, but
I do.
Get a lot of hits on that?
We do. Yeah, we do. And we get a lot of comments and emails and questions, and I love that. And I love for people to call me too. Every time I'm on the show, I give out my phone number, and it's 615-598-8900. And I'll say that again before we get off the air. But my website is rickbellformayor.com. And there's a lot of information there. And we also have a Facebook page where we post a lot of information. So please go there and check that out. But the one thing I want all the listeners to know is that I am working hard for your vote. because I believe that's what people should do. They should earn people's votes. And I will also work hard as your mayor.
Well, people want to get in touch with you. You've already mentioned your website here, and you mentioned your phone number. I guess one of those two ways is pretty much it.
That's it. The email address is on the website. So just go there and read about my platform. If you have any questions, reach out. And again, my phone number is 615-598-8900. I'll be happy to talk with anyone. I talk to people every day.
All right. Going to give you 1 minute here to just summarize and tell everybody why you ought to be Lebanon's next mayor.
Well, I want to be mayor because, as I said earlier, I want Lebanon to have a positive future. This is the place I grew up. We've been here for generations, and this was a great place to grow up. And I want to continue to be that way. I will work hard every day to make that happen. And I will bring qualities to the office that will put Lebanon in that positive direction. I will communicate with people. I will listen to people. I will work hard every day. But I also will make tough decisions. That's something the mayor has to do, is make tough decisions. But they will be educated decisions based on information that I get from, as I said, city council, citizens, department heads, employees. But the mayor, ultimately, he's the leader of the city. And I will be a leader.
And you want their vote? You want everybody's vote?
Absolutely. I'm asking for everybody's vote. I know there's a lot of people who listen to your radio show, Coleman, and I am asking everyone for their vote on November 3rd. And be sure and already vote October 14th.
All right. Thanks for being with us today. Rick Bell, candidate for mayor for the city of Lebanon. That's part one of Coleman and Company. Please keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:30. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford, and they've got the lifetime brake pad guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic increase quite a bit in the last few minutes out here in the normal spots, especially coming down I-40 out of Benton County, headed towards Dixon County. As you make your way past 840, 65 starting to get a little bit busy at times through Madison, working your way down from the north. Hey, celebrate autumn at Ober-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest, September 25th through November 1st. All the details at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Times of crisis, and especially when you're isolated, it helps to know someone has your best interest at heart. At Wilson Bank and Trust, standing strong for others has always been one of our most important roles, and we're still here for you now. Through these days of disruption and distancing, you can count on us to keep you connected with your financial services, and we'll continue to provide financial relief for households and businesses. Thanks for supporting our ongoing commitment to service. Working together, we'll weather this storm too. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Don't worry. Be happy. Buyers, be happy. Interest rates are the lowest in years.
We can help you find the dream home and make you very, very happy.
Sellers, don't you worry. Buyers are coming to our area from all over the country. Call us to find out how much your house is worth. Remember, don't worry. Be happy. And don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
Don't worry, be happy.
Hey, this is State Senator Mark Pody. With everything that's going on, I just want to encourage everybody to please be safe and use common sense as the state begins to reopen. We need to get our economy going again. If you have any underlying pre-existing health conditions or issues, or if you're age 60 or older, you need to use the precautions that you feel are needed. Be patient when you go into your local businesses, and remember, we're all in this together. If you all need any kind of service, please give me a call. This is Mark Pody.
With churches not being able to gather, we wanted to make sure our audience is aware of our regular Sunday morning programming. We call it God's Country. Starting at 7 to 7:15, it's Southern Gospel and Positive Country Music. Then at 7:15 to 7:30, Old Path Missionary Baptist with Brother Jason Wheely. From 7:30 to 8, it's The Gospel Show, hosted by Miss Dean. 8 o'clock, it's College Hills Church with Minister Wilson McCoy. At 8:30 to 9, it's Word of God broadcast by Ronnie Briley. From 9 to 9:30, Hillcrest Baptist Church with Pastor John Ferguson. From 9:30 to 10:30, it's Call on God Today, hosted by Brother Kenneth Bowen. At 10:30, it's another message from College Hills Church. From 11 to 11:30, Maple Hill Church with Minister Rob Long. And from 11:30 to noon, it's Southern Gospel and Positive Country Music. Join us each Sunday on WANT or WCOR or online at WANTFM.com.
Today's forecast calls for partly cloudy skies with just a few light showers in the afternoon. Highs today will top out in the mid-80s. On Saturday, you couldn't ask for any better weather. We'll have plenty of sunshine, low humidity, and highs in the low 80s. On Sunday, we remain dry with temperatures in the upper 80s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Friday morning, Friday before the Labor Day weekend. Our two members of our C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty are here this morning. It's the two you would probably expect, Miss Judy and Medina, and we welcome both of you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you?
Just ready and raring to go. It's
All right.
Friday. Long weekend.
How
People
is
are
Mike?
off. He's doing good.
All right, got to ask
He's going to
about
meet
him.
us here in a little bit.
All right.
So
Well, that's great.
Up doing things.
And Granny?
Oh, Granny's doing good.
She listening?
Oh, yes, always.
She's got her 4 radios on listening to you.
Now, she has the little transistor radio that's
Well,
probably
now,
50 years old right by her
I
ear.
can see you might have two, one for each ear.
Yeah.
But
No.
There's one in every room. So she's flowing
Yeah.
in every room while you're
No
on.
matter which room
Oh.
she goes in, she doesn't miss a beat. But she has her little, it's probably 50 years old, little transistor radio that she keeps right by her pillow. In case she's laying down, she can hear it whenever it happens.
Well, good morning, Granny. We're glad to have you listening. The C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. They're located on West Main Street. They're great people, great service. Somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're people you can trust. So, who wants to get us started?
I'll go first.
Judy's going
Yeah,
first.
Talking about Granny on the listening to the radio, we can kind of know her routine. You don't call her when the birthday club is fixing to come on, and then you don't call her at 12 o'clock because the death notices are coming on. So we know the times that she's got particular things she's going to listen to. So we all know, don't call her till after those things are over so you don't interrupt her.
So you don't call her on Friday between 7:30 and 7:40.
That's right.
Well, it's amazing what radio can do to people.
Well, she loves it, and she keeps up with the news, and she tells us the weather as soon as we get up every morning. We know she knows already what it's supposed to do, and she's usually right.
Oh, what a treasure.
I'm telling you, she is a treasure. She keeps us all on our toes, that's for sure. But anyway, I had heard Kurt Baker talking earlier about the interest rates, and that right now they're the best that they've been since I've been in real estate. And a lot of times people say, well, I'm thinking about buying a house, but I really don't know how to go about it. Can we go look at some houses? Well, as a service to our customers, we like to make sure they go get qualified, pre-qualified first, because the worst thing is to take a young couple out, first-time home buyer especially, and they go find these houses and look at houses and they fall in love with them, and then they go get pre-qualified and they can't quite be that in their budget. Well, they're so disappointed, and then everything they start looking at, then they're disappointed. So we try to go, all right, let's go and get you pre-qualified, and we help you with that service. We'll take you to the financial institutions, and because a lot of people don't know, there's 100% loans, there's VA loans, THDA, FHA, conventional, and they don't know what category they fit in and which one would work the best for their needs. Because the worst thing you can see is a couple purchase, especially first-time home buyers, purchase their first home, and then after they're in it a few months, they can't go out to eat, they can't do anything because they're strapped to a mortgage. And you hate that with first-time home buyers and newly married couples. You don't want to see them get into that. And we're kind of like their mothers when it comes to that. We try to guide them that we'll let you do what you want to do, but we want to advise you, let's get a house payment that you can afford, that you're comfortable with, and it doesn't run your life.
Yeah.
And the same thing, a lot of times, even people that downsize and are going to retire, sometimes we have to help guide them, because they're coming from a larger home to a smaller home, and there's a lot of an adjustment there. So we have to, sometimes we're like counselors with them too, that you have to help them figure out what to do so that, because selling the home and finding the home is not the major thing. It's all the aspects around it.
Yeah, and people ought to listen. I mean, all the wisdom that you have gained in all these years doing this, and are willing to share with people, just like did this week and last week here.
Yeah, it's there's a lot more to selling real estate than just going and putting them in a car, finding a house, and making the sale and then goodbye.
Yeah.
There's relationships that you want to guide them as if you were guiding your own. When young people come to us, we try to treat them like we would our own children. We don't want you to make that mistake. We're going to tell you, and then you do what you want to do. But we're kind of do a lot of guidance more than, and then let them make the decisions after we've checked everything out. And sometimes we'll have to pull them back and slow walk them because they're so excited they jump the gun sometimes. And you want to make sure that when they bought that home and 5 years from now they come back and want to sell it and buy another one, they remember that you tried to help them and you did the right thing.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to do.
Medina, it's your turn.
Well, we have a new listing this morning. It's in the Chaparral subdivision off of Maple Hill Road. It's 938 Canyon Creek Road. It's a cute little dollhouse. It's in a cul-de-sac, and it is right around 1,842 square feet. It is 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. The primary bedroom is downstairs with the primary master, primary bathroom with a separate tub and shower. It has hardwood floors downstairs and tile in the bathroom and the laundry room. It has a oversized laundry room. The kitchen eat-in area, and the living room all flow together. It's an open floor plan, so it's easy to get around and maneuver. It has a private backyard that is fenced in, has a deck that is just cute as a button. And then you walk upstairs. All the carpet is new upstairs. There's 2 bedrooms and a full bath upstairs. Oversized bedrooms. All 3 of them are oversized. So it is great for a first-time home buyer. It would be great for a retired couple, somebody that's downsizing, in a cul-de-sac. If you have children, it's a subdivision with lots of kids in it. So it's a brick home. It has 1-car garage, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, fenced-in backyard, deck, privacy in the backyard. You can't go wrong. And it's listed at $279,900.
$279,900.
Yes. So
affordable.
Affordable, yes. And in that price range, those are going pretty quick. So we want you to, if you want to look at it, you need to give us a call so we can show it to you and see if you like it, and then let's get you moved into it.
All right.
And it's like brand new construction. You would think it's only a year
Yes.
old because
it's cute. They have took real good care of it.
And it's decorated great.
Well, if you want to know more, there's that phone number, 615-443-3130 for C&D Realty, or C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, I should say. And we hope you'll call. Keep that phone going. That's a part of your livelihood.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. Our phone is always with us.
All right. Anything else?
Just have a good Labor Day and be
Yes.
safe.
All right. Well, thank you all for being with us, and we'll see you next Friday.
And of course.
Yes.
But
Last
even
word.
on Labor Day, you don't make a move without us.
See you later.
All right. Thank you. That is Miss Judy and Medina Himentola. Judy Cox, Medina Himentola for the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, and that takes us to about 18 before the hour. I have invited former Sheriff Terry Ash to be my guest, and he is here live in studio. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And I know you're working for the state, and you're, I think, deputy director or some such title of whatever department you work for, but I can't remember. But tell us here.
I'm the deputy commissioner and chief of staff of Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Department of Safety, Homeland Security. All right. Well, I guess it keeps you busy.
Yeah, here lately.
I don't even know really where to start, and I can't remember the last time you were on, but I know it has been a while. What the COVID, the coronavirus, COVID-19 has changed all of our world and the way we do things to some extent, some more than others. But as a lot of that had a big effect on what you do and the whole situation with what you do.
You know, we have 2,300 employees basically. We've got 900 state troopers that Commissioner and I have under us, from the colonel all the way down, and that's enough. And they're dealing with the public on a day-to-day basis. And then our our drivers centers have never shut down during this unless we had a COVID incident in the facility. So those brave men and women, they've been standing there issuing driver's license and under some pretty tough conditions. But, the entire state, and I'd say Coleman, the entire country, we're not in a depression, but we're in a depressed state of mind. And so, people are they're down and don't know and, not going to church or not doing the things they normally do. And so when you deal with those folks out on the highways, you have to kind of put yourself in their position when you have issues. So I think it affects everybody, every profession we have, education, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's touching us all.
The governor has had really, I guess, some tough decisions to make, and most of the departments, I think, the governor has a big influence on everybody, and how he thinks is kind of how you think, or at least react to his thinking. And so you're pretty close to him, I think. You're certainly safety. The governor, he's very concerned about our safety and how things are going, and the directives that he issues affect everybody, but they have a big effect on you and what you do.
I believe he's one of the most caring individuals I've ever been around, and but I'll let him speak to those issues himself, if you know what I mean about those things. But he is a caring individual. He cares about the state. He cares about the people in the state. Tough job.
Well, what has claimed most of your attention, since March 1st?
Well, COVID naturally has been just out there. Excuse me, my allergies are acting up. It's out there on the front line. It affects everything we do, basically. And of course, then the protests in the last few months have been challenging, to say the least, and that's really consumed a lot of time. And then that's kind of derailed some of the things that Commissioner Long and I would be doing, as far as we'd be traveling more and seeing other things in the state. I think he's traveling to West Tennessee today, but it's just changed things.
Well, we need to take a break here, but I'm gonna ask this before we do. I would have a very short fuse in dealing with some of the stuff that I saw going on around the Capitol, and those people that camped out there and marking things up. I don't, maybe they didn't get terribly out of hand, but being there that length of time, and you just like to put them in a pickup truck and take them 100 miles away or something. That's got to grate on you in your position.
I was very proud of our Tennessee Highway Patrol staff and members and its leadership. The way that we handled that professionally is they would let us do that, they being the people who are protesting. I think sometimes all of it gets painted in a different light, but I ran into so many of the protesters who are just really good people. I mean, really, they're not involved in what you see, that few that gets in there and they just tear things up. I watched two young girls in Nashville put 10,000 people in a protest and march them down the street. And when that thing ended, which was hard on us to maneuver and get all that done, the troublemakers didn't stay behind, and they carry it to the next level. And those are the folks that we've had a lot of problems with. Many of them have been arrested multiple times. A lot of them are not from Tennessee.
Right, yeah.
And so it's it's hard balance. I mean, when you're you got people who really are passionate about what they believe in, just like back in the income tax days when they were all over the same buildings, and when Occupy Nashville just took over the plaza. I mean, it's hard any time that you have that kind of disruption, but by and large, it's all kind of smoothed back down, and hope it stays that way.
All right, Terry Ash is with us. We'll talk more after this break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:48. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Stop in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1325 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's busy out here in the normal spot, 65 southbound here at Trinity Lane. Moving a couple of earlier accidents out of your way. I don't think you need an ultra route, but you do need to slow it down. THB scattered all around the interstate, and you're going to see more and more of that as we head into the holiday weekend. Ripley's Aquarium Family Edition Sleep with the Sharks are back September 19. Check out the details at RipleyAquariumOfTheSmokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Tenova Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
Rick Bell, who was appointed to the City Council by fellow developer and former Mayor Philip Craighead, voted to build a $5 million super park at Hamilton Springs, Bell Family Investment Property. He also voted to donate $850,000 to a private school that he taught at for 20 years. This looks like a conflict of interest. Vote Bernie Ash for Mayor of Lebanon. 22 years in elective office and never a hint of a conflict of interest. This message has been paid for by Bernie Ash.
Lebanon High School football is live this season on WANT and WCOR. Join Tommy Bryan and the crew. Action brought to you by Bates Ford, Cedar Recovery of Middle Tennessee, the law firm of Clemens & Clemens, D.T. McCall & Sons, Fakes and Hooker Lumber, Sheriff Robert Bryan, Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, and Wilson Bank and Trust. Lebanon High School football Friday night starting with the pregame show at 6:30 on WANT FM 98.9 and WCOR AM 1490. Coleman Company, former Sheriff Terry Ash, now Assistant Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner. Safety's been part of your
50 years.
Yeah.
I hate to say that.
Yeah.
I looked the other day, I had 50, counting the military time, I have over 51 years of public service, and it's gone by pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know, it's
what do you think it's we're going to continue to see what's been going on here? Is this the protesting and all that goes with that? Do you anticipate that to continue for the foreseeable future? Is it about to die off?
No, I think certain things nationally where new systems are set up. One little thing in another state or even in our own state could set off a protest for anything. I mean, you could have people protesting not going back to school. I mean, every little thing now seems to trigger some kind of agitation. I think that's part of that depressed state we're in. The COVID thing is, you lock people up for 3 months and then you wonder why they don't act just like they did before that happened, And
Yeah.
so it's, anything could happen. I think there's anxiety in the country. Always is. There's always anxiety when there's a presidential election. It raises the anxiety up a little bit. And so depending on the outcome of that, I don't know what future protests may or may not take place. There are protest groups, and now we're seeing these anti-protest groups. And the worst thing could happen for law enforcement, including the sheriff here and the police chief, is to have two groups who you're trying to balance the safety of everybody, but you got two groups wanting to clash, and that's the worst thing could ever happen to us as a country, and locally in this profession. Those things you hope don't happen, but I think when the election's over, some of this will all calm down a little bit.
I wonder sometimes how these people can spend all their time doing this. I mean, some of us have to work. Where do they are they drawing unemployment? Or is there some big financier somewhere taking care of them?
Well, the conspiracy theorists come up with all kind of ideas. I really don't know how they're funded. I know how some of the intergroups are funded. Some of the anarchist groups on both sides kind of I know how some of that's funded, but just the average person, I don't know how that's funded. I hear all kind of rumors about it.
Well, let me ask you. You've always been one to either have informants or have some way of getting information, gathering information, knowing about a lot of things before they happen, and by so doing, maybe being prepared. Do you have? You must have in your department here a good information. You must be able to secure information.
You're just trying to tie that Homeland Security thing into this comment.
Well,
there are things that go on.
No, I mean, I think it ought to always be legal. You don't need to infringe on somebody's right. But I mean, you in your job here, I mean, keeping safe, knowing ahead of time. If you can have a little time to prepare for something, you can meet it head on so much better than you can if you're taken totally by surprise.
I think even at the local level, I think people underestimate the information that might come through a police department or the sheriff's department, or even what I'm doing today. And of course, I can't comment on those things because I have a secret clearance and I'm not supposed to comment on those things. I didn't have a secret clearance when I was the sheriff, but I got one now. And so it's there are things that we're privy to that gives you insight and gives you some planning things. I mean, that's just general public understands that, but I couldn't honestly go into any details. It wouldn't be proper.
But you do have ways.
We have ways to gather information.
Okay, right, all right. How close do you work with the sheriffs in the 95 counties now?
Not like I did as executive director, because I have day-to-day contact. I have sheriffs actually that still call me probably just 3 or 4 a week. They call me, and they call me basically, and they get tickled. They call me and say, "Daddy, I want to talk to you about something," and we laugh about it. You know, they got issues. Sheriffs have so many complex issues, and just about everything a sheriff can come up and think about, I've already had happen to me. So I've been given the okay by the administration. If I can talk to them and help them, as long as it's within reason, I do that. And then sometimes it's related to they're having issues with budgets, or they're having issues with purchasing, or they're having issues with personnel, or they're having issues with that. And I've always, as you know, been a very strong policy and procedure kind of guy. And now as we're moving forward, and we're one of the leaders helping write these use of force policies, I'm getting phone calls about what is this policy going to look like? We think we got good policy. So I'm still very much involved in talking to them. And now I'm a little closer to the Police Chiefs Association than I have been before. So working with them, they've took me and Jeff in like 2 stepchildren and made us, feel very welcome. And so working with them on a day-to-day basis, as I did as executive director of the sheriffs, is closer relationship. So I've got a broader perspective of working with all the sheriffs and the chiefs, which really helps me in my position when somebody reaches out to me and says, "Can you call Chief so-and-so? Do you know him?" I say, "Oh, yeah, I know him." "Can you call Sheriff so-and-so? Do you know him?" "Yeah, I can call him for you. I know him." So that works pretty good.
Well, you still you're still doing some things you did when you were well, maybe not when you're sheriff, but the Sheriff Association. That plus the safety for the state of Tennessee, but you're still a county commissioner.
Yeah, trying to figure out how to move on from that.
So we got 3 minutes here. We can talk about the county a little bit. I guess you've been making the meetings and
oh yes,
either in person or virtual.
Well, we've I do a lot of virtual every day. It's a little easier maybe for me than some of the other county commissioners. Virtual is a challenge, by the way. When you start taking that face-to-face, away, it's another. I don't like to call it a new normal, but it is the way we kind of doing business to some degree.
Well, let me get cut to the chase here. The budget got passed. It got passed early. You pleased with the budget we passed?
Well, I'm grateful we were able to do this without any tax increases, and I'm grateful that we slowed things down a little bit. And it's like in the insurance thing, which I really always want to take care of county employees' insurance, but. I watched how the employees managed their own program like they were managing their own finances and kept all that money in check. And then, again, we slowed our spending down, and that was enabled us not to have to raise taxes and take a deep breath. Just kind of kind of take it all in and go forward with it. And I think that's the approach the county commission has been using. I think it's working well for us. Everybody don't agree on everything, but that's okay. I mean, we need to agree to work together.
Anything in particular you're working on as a county commissioner, right, either for your district or for the whole county?
No, I don't think anything. I think right now we're all having to spend time working on projects we've had in place instead of a new project or something going on. I would like to mention that today at 1 o'clock, we're going to dedicate a bridge in No Ring for the Williams brothers. So that's important. Some folks can come out. But there's nothing in the 12th district that's other than those folks asking me to keep a lid on the spending and try not to raise their taxes. We've got some zoning issues in 12th district. We've got some blasting issues, some things going on with some things. But most part, I think all the commissioners they've settled in, trying to get through a very difficult time and work together, and I think they're doing that.
We got just a minute here, but I'm just thinking of really kind of three hats that you're wearing, as we've alluded to here, but I guess most of your time is spent being the Deputy Director of Safety for Tennessee. That most of your thought is...
That's a good assumption.
But you are busy.
But right now I'm even more busier. Beth and I have two grandsons up from Lake Charles, and their parents and their homes are damaged. And of course, oldest son is a captain of the fire department down there, and he's came up here yesterday as we had the kids up here, and you might say snuck off, and they didn't know he was coming. First time those boys had seen their daddy in 8 days or 9, and so it's pretty exciting. We got there's two other grandsons down there that's working their way maybe here, we're not sure. So this kind of reminds me of the old Rita and Katrina days, when Beth and I would take everybody in from the south, and so it's happened again.
Hadn't even thought about that. Well, our time's come and gone. Thanks for your being with us today. We'll do it again. Hopefully it won't be as long as it's been since you were here the last time, but we appreciate it. Terry Ash, that's it for Friday. Have a nice weekend, great Labor Day weekend, and until Tuesday, I wish you a fantastic day.